Romaniuk hails from Kelowna, British Columbia in Canada, which he says is a bit of a redneck town, but anyone who's visited knows its lakeside is amazing and it's a great place to hang out and of course ride. Speaking of riding, we got in some with Steve, as well as sitting down with him to find out more about drop-in, the dirtbags on the bus, and what it's like to be Steve Romaniuk, professional mountain bike rider.
My first original sport, my dream was I wanted to be a hockey player, and played that for quite a few years, but just wasn't too into the team sport kind of stuff and didn't want to coach, telling me what to do. I wanted to do, my own kind of programs, so hopped onto dirt bikes and started riding those quite a bit and racing them around the valley and whatnot, but the problem was being so young and without a driver's license, you had to normally drive an hour to the track and it all had to be lined up, and it was, a lot of work, a lot of maintenance, and it's an all-day ordeal to get your dirt bike out there and go have a good day with your buddies. Mountain biking came about when all my friends were just rolling by my house, knocking on the door, saying, "Hey, let's go ride." Grab your bike, just ride out the front door, and you're out there riding. So it was really the people around me that kind of, I wouldn't say forced me into it, but it was, no one wanted to spend all day trying to drive your dirt bike up into the hills when you can just hop on your mountain bike and go for a rip at any time.
Steve is a rider with oodles of skill and style. He's not so into the competition scene, although he has done his fair share of point getting at events like the Red Bull Rampage in Utah in 2003, where he took a respectable 5th place as a newly sponsored rider. More recently, he's made his way filming and being featured in movie parts, which seems to suit his style of riding and flow better anyway.
When I first came on the scene and got my first sponsor, they wanted me to kind of prove myself, and first comp I ever did came 5th in a world-class circuit. So started out from there, and that's when competitions were big mountain and they were about mountain biking and riding down big lines, and it's kind of like my specialty and what I do. Nowadays in the competitions it's evolved a little bit more about the tricks and training in foam pits over the winter and flying into these comps and just what kind of trick you can throw down. So it's a little bit different style than what I came into it and what I used to do. So I don't do comps quite as much and sticking more to like the film side of things and show people around the world how cool this sport is. That's kind of where it all started. I got hooked up with the TV show Drop-In and left halfway through grade 12 to hop on this city bus with free liquor sponsor and saying you wanted to ride bikes every single day. It's like, when you're coming out of high school, it's like, what else could you ask for right there? I signed me up and kind of took it from there. Right now, as we speak, drop-in's going on, and I just took a quick breather from all the dirt bags on the bus, flew out here to Ora Mountain for about a week, and I'm going to fly directly back to the TV show for another month and a half. This is the biggest leg of my year. It's going to be about 3 months straight of touring all over the world, and just real happy and lucky that I get to ride my bike all around.
Dropping!
Ora Mountain's so good. I mean, John and Dave that do the event here, it's my 3rd year back, and this year was more about just like coming back and seeing my friends and helping them with the event and get to ride the mountain lots and meet with the kids. So, I mean, the event organizers are top notch, and it's a really cool event to see how stoked the kids come to be able to compete in a slope style and have their time to shine and see what they can do. And I kind of get to kick back and ride with them and just help them through it all and get to guest judge the slope style. So, I mean, for me, it's a great opportunity to come over to Europe and get a bit of training in and work with a really fun event. I mean, as far as people I like to ride with, there's two separate kinds of dudes. You got like guys who are just really, really good and they push your level of riding. And then you got guys who are maybe good or not so good, but you're having such a good time with them, it's great as well. So I mean, Jay Hoots has brought one of the most positive attitudes I've ever seen out on the trails. I mean, the guys, we're coming down the trail and you can hear him laughing the whole way down, his dreads flying out of the back. So ridiculous to follow that guy. I mean, as far as just sheer talent, and if you want to go out and push yourself, I've ridden with guys like Steve Pete, who's fastest man in the world on a mountain bike, and guys like Thomas Vanderham, who's known as one of the most stylish guys out there on the mountain bike. And pretty cool to follow those tires coming down as well, because you know, you see a guy just drop a big whip and get pretty inspired to do the same thing behind him.
Some riders gain respect in the industry through being crazy and doing the biggest, nuttiest stunts. Others gain respect for how they deal with the public and promote the sport, and still others simply for their attitude and work ethic. Steve encompasses portions from each. He is a dedicated rider who loves his sport and it shows in his riding, but he is also not afraid to get dirty and put in some time helping out on a trail. He's a mellow, laid-back rider who likes to mingle with the kids and shows his skill with a lazy, floaty style that makes the biggest moves look like kindergarten. He is well respected in the industry and was recently listed in the top 10 of freeriders in Freeride magazine. Not bad for a kid from the lakeside community filled with rednecks. He brings biking to the world and shows that the riders are human and need not be revered, but definitely respected for what they do. So who is Steve when he's not on his bike?
I don't know, like where I grew up, it's kind of a bit of a redneck kind of zone, and a lot of times buddies will go 4x4 or just take big trucks and drop them in mud holes, get them stuck, winch them out, kill days off like that. Still spend a ton of time riding my dirt bike and lots of moto, even do a bit of racing still. And actually this year I started getting back into it quite seriously and did a bit of a moto circuit, so that was fun to get back in and involved with it, and turned out to be real good training as well. I got on my little mountain bike, it's 35 pounds, and my dirt bike's 200. It just felt like a little toy to me, so it's good training for the off season as well. I don't know, still play a lot of ice hockey, and sports are fun, man. I love just getting out there and getting active and not scared to get a little bit dirty or get a sweat on.